Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the early bird special. We're going to do part 2 today. It's a much shorter video than the last one. I just did not want that last video to go over 20 minutes. So there aren't that many players we're going to be going over here, so we're going to run through this quickly. If you didn't catch the first part of this video, do yourself a favor, look in the description and click the link to the first video, then come back to this one. All right, so first guy on this list is going to be Yandy Diaz. We spoke about him a few weeks ago, and he's back on the list because he's absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. Now, Yandy's year totals have a 321 batting average, a 429 on-base percentage, a 593 slugging, and a whopping 1022 OPS. Over his last 15 games, he has a 325 batting average, a 426 on-base, 650 slugging percentage, and a 1076 OPS. Now, he's hitting much better against right-hand pitching in terms of average, but in terms of both, he's hitting them both pretty darn well, especially in the power department against both sides. So what we're looking at his attributes right down here. I'm expecting him to get an upgrade to both contact and power versus right. And if you look up at the top, and right over here, he already has a plus 10 to both, which is making him an 87 overall right then and there. So he might be getting a pretty large bump if he continues this kind of production. Now we look at his left-handed attributes. I do think his contact is going to go down because he's had a rough time over the past like 5 or 6 games against left-handed pitching. But he could also turn it around too because you don't see as many lefties. So you need a couple of good games against a few lefties, and that's going to go back up as well. But I do see his power going up against lefties, so it might just be a little bit of a rework there, and he's overall the same value against lefties, but he's going to get a bump against right, so he might be upgraded to an 86 or an 87 overall, if not maybe even close to an 88, although an 88 I highly doubt is going to happen, but he very well may go to an 87 because he only needs a plus 10 for contact and right and power versus right. So I do think Yandy is a fantastic investment right now. He's currently going for 2,113 stubs. You can get it for 2,114 stubs. And if he only goes to an 85 overall, you're still going to be making about 900 stubs on each investment. But I think he's going to go higher than that, so I think you should hop in on him now. Next guy on our list is Yandy's teammate, Randy. Yandy and Randy are absolutely killing it for the Rays. So let's go take a look at Randy's stats over here. On the year, Randy is hitting 310 with a 395 on-base percentage, a 544 slugging, and a 939 OPS. His last 15 games, he's slowed a little bit, just from really a couple of games. I'm not too worried because his numbers on the year are absolutely fantastic, but his last 15 games, hitting 273 with 411 on base, 477 slug, and an 888 OPS. Against right-handed pitching, he's hitting 297 with 396 on base, 469 slug, and an 865 OPS on the year. Against lefty is a 367 average with a 387 on base. He says, I'm swinging at everything. A slugging percentage of 867 and a 1254 OPS. That's absolutely nutty right now. So let's take a look at his attributes and where I think he's going to get upgraded. So based upon that, he has a 295 batting average against righties. I think his contact should stay about the same. I don't think they're going to touch that if it stays around that area between 290 and 300. I don't think it's going to change much. Same thing with his power. His power kind of fits here right now at about a 70, so I don't really see his attributes against righties getting changed all that much. And if it does, I think it's going to probably be negligible. But then when we look at against lefties, he's absolutely destroying the ball, and 109 contact is great, but 367 batting average usually warrants something higher than that, and he's been doing it the entire year so far, so he might get a little bump there. And as well as power versus lefties, absolutely launching balls off lefties. The amount of extra base hits this guy has right now is just absolutely crazy against lefties. So I do also think that his power is going to go up as well. And as we can see his attributes here, he's getting a plus 7 on righties, both in the contact and the power department currently, and that's bringing his overall up to an 86. So my guess is he's going to probably get an overall net of over plus 14. So I do think he will also be getting upgraded to an 86 or an 87 overall if he has similar production over the next couple of weeks. Randy, just like Yandy, is going at about 2,100 stubs. Again, just a great investment because chances are he's going to be going diamond and possibly higher than an 85 diamond. So it's a very good time to invest on Randy Arozarena right now. Anthony Rizzo for the New York Yankees is having an absolutely interesting season this year. Interesting to say the least. He's having a very good year thus far. So let's go look at his stats and see where I think he's going to get upgraded to. So his year totals on the year are very respectable, quite good. 302 batting average, a 390 on base percentage, a 512 slugging, and a 902 OPS. But in his last 15 games, He's hitting .333 with a .429 on-base percentage, a .625 slugging, and a .1054 OPS. Now, he's had reverse splits this year, so against right-handed pitching, he's only hitting .270, but honestly, that kind of fits with his contact where it currently is. An on-base percentage of .357, which is excellent if you only have a .270 batting average, and a slugging percentage of .500 to go along with an .857 OPS. I don't really see his right-handed attributes being touched all that much. I think he's actually in a pretty good spot, but against lefties, I think he's going to get a nice upgrade if he keeps this up. So he's got contact of 92 right now and power of 74. Both of those things should jump with these stats. A .400 batting average against lefties when you are a lefty this deep into the season is pretty darn impressive. His power numbers are really good as well. So I do expect a bump to his contact, and I do expect a big bump to his power against left as well. He's going to probably have something like 100 contact against left and probably around 82 to 85 power against lefties. Now, does he deserve more than that? Sure, I do believe he deserves more than that. But, they do this incrementally. They generally don't do these monster bumps from update to update. But when we're looking at what it's going to take right now for him to get to a diamond, so it says that he's going to +14, +14 against righties on both contact and power. Now, like I said, I think that's going to stay the same. But he might get close to that with contact versus left and power versus left. So is he definitely going to go to a diamond? No, not definitely, because they have his defense ranked pretty low, which is a little surprising because he's been a pretty good defender for the majority of his career, and I think even last year he was a pretty good defender, so I think they're hosing him a little bit there. But there's still a very good chance that he does go diamond, and if he doesn't go diamond, he's still going to probably go up to an 84 overall. And if we're looking at what he's currently going for, he's going for 739. Let's say he only goes up to an 83 overall. You're still going to be making about 500 stubs on each investment. So, honestly, he's a pretty low risk to make stubs, and you might hit it big and make a ton of stubs off of him. All right, so there are a few more players on this list that are on my radar, but the reason why I'm not actually going to talk about them a little bit more in depth is mainly because their overalls are pretty low currently right now in the game, and I don't see how they can be upgraded to a gold or a diamond, which we're definitely far away from currently. So because of that, they're just going to be kind of on the radar, and we're just going to go over their stats a little bit quickly and how they've been going over the last few weeks, and then their overall stats throughout the year. So Jorge Soler is an interesting one here. He's been doing fantastic over the past couple of weeks. So we click on his stats for the entire year, and they're respectable. 240 batting average with a 321 on base and an 841 OPS. But the thing about Jorge Soler here is that his attributes in game are pretty poor. Now, Jorge is currently, you can get him for 38 stubs, so I think he's actually an excellent investment to go into right now at only 38 stubs. But if you look, he's not really going to make you much stubs currently on the next roster upgrade. If he continues to hit like this, they'll probably upgrade him to about a silver. And if he continues to hit after that, then possibly he can get upgraded to a gold. So if it might be a nice long-term investment for you to get into, to buy a bunch of Jorge Solers at, around 40 stubs. And you could flip this card too if you get cold feet, because he's going for 78 stubs currently. Next guy on my radar here is Seiya Suzuki. Last 2 weeks hitting 302 with a 392 on base, 674 slug, and a 1066 OPS. We give him a little click to see his stats on the year. And his stats on the year are very, very respectable. 286 batting average, a 372 on base percentage, and an 863 OPS. Now, Suzuki has the same issue that Soler had. He started out to a pretty slow start this year, so he's only a bronze. He's only a 74 overall, but currently he's only going for about 100 stubs. Let's take a look at that. So yeah, he's currently only going for 100 stubs. So this might be a nice investment as well. So chances are, if he keeps playing like this, he's going to be upgraded to a silver. He has okay defensive stats here. I mean, his reaction and his fielding aren't very good, but that arm is going to keep him up, considering that he's a right fielder, where it's valued a little bit more. So it's almost like a, it's almost like a wash in terms of his defense. So you don't really look at his defense all that much. Not going to really help him, but it's not going to really hold him back all that much. So 100 stubs here. If he has another couple of good weeks, there's a chance he can go gold on the following roster update. So if you want to invest in this card now, it's possible you can buy him for 101 stubs and can make an easy 300 stubs when he goes gold. So you don't always want to look this far down the line, but when cards are really cheap, especially Soler, because Soler is only like 37 stubs right now, it's a good investment to do it. In worst case scenario, a couple days you get cold feet about it, you can just sell the cards. Now you really can't flip Suzuki for much here. After the tax, you're only going to gain 11 stubs off it, but Soler, you're going to be gaining like 30 stubs off them if you get cold feet. So it's really not a terrible investment any way you slice it. Last guy on the list today is Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich is doing absolutely fantastic over the last 2 weeks. Now, his year totals here don't really jump out at you. They're nothing special. 258 batting average, 341 on base, and a 765 OPS. But if we look at Yelich over the last 15 games, he's hitting 341 with a 400 on base percentage, a 634 slugging percentage, and a 1034 OPS, looking like his old MVP self. He's had a bunch of injuries over the past few years, playing through them and not playing very well through them. So there's a good chance that Yelich can get upgraded to his 75, just because we know who this guy is. His career numbers are still really, really good, even with him not performing very well over the last 3 years, because he had those 2 seasons in a row where he was one of the best players in baseball. So SDS will be quicker to upgrade him. Now, do I think this guy is going to go old in the next roster update? Absolutely not. But if he keeps it playing like this, he can probably get to a silver. And if he has another good period right after that, they probably will upgrade him to a gold. All right, everyone. Well, that is the end of the Early Bird Special Roster Update Part 2. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please do me a big favor. Click that like button. Leave me some comments on some of the players that you're looking at. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I've noticed that the majority of the people that are watching my videos are not subscribed. And if you are subscribed and you're enjoying the content, please do me a big favor. Really, click that like button. It helps my channel grow so much. So please just do me that big favor. It takes you 2 seconds and it does wonders for my channel. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.